Welcome back. Now, let's bring you a little bit more about what transpired at the meeting between President Muhammadu Buhari and the leadership of the National Assembly today. The lawmakers had initially stormed out of the villa for being subjected to body checks by security operatives on arrival. However, following President Buhari's intervention, they returned to discuss the 2018 budget with the President. The President and the Senate President gave an assurance that the earlier mix-up had been amicably resolved.
At the dinner with the President, the initial intention was the entire leadership, but we've had dinner. I'm sure we'll fix a date for that as well. But we've had fruitful discussion.
There are reports in the media that you were denied from coming into the field. What do you have to say about it?
Well, I think those issues have been, I'm sure they will be addressed. We're here now, aren't we? And I'm sure that in the next few days we'll be here with a bigger team. Look, you know the media always feast on those kind of stories. Let's face the major issues that are important before us. Thank you so much.
Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki. Let's take a look at some sports news now. Here's Barong.
Thank you, Ijoma, and welcome to Sports News. Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel has called for an upward review of the prize money for the winners of the Aito Cup, which is the country's oldest football competition. The 2017 champions, Akwa United, and the women's runners-up, Ibom Angels, earlier today presented the trophy and the runners-up check to the state governor at the State Executive Council meeting in Uyo. Akwa United won 25 million naira as champions and will also fly the country's flag at next year's CAF Confederations Cup. Meanwhile, relegated Shooting Stars Sports Club of Ibadan have appointed Edith Agoye as the club's new head coach ahead of their campaign in the Nigeria National League next season. Agoye, who was the club's assistant coach last season, takes over from Fatai Mo, who was relieved of his appointment following the team's relegation from the Nigeria Professional Football League. And elsewhere in tennis, Americans Venus Williams has booked her spot in the last four of the season-ending WTA Finals with a straight sets victory over world number 2 Garbiñe Muguruza in Singapore. The world number 5 advanced to her fifth semi-final of the season finale after a determined 7-5, 6-4 victory in 1 hour and 45 minutes. Williams' win, which acts as some form of revenge for her Wimbledon final defeat to Muguruza, sees her finish second in the white group behind Caroline Pliskova.
Williams.
Meanwhile, Jelena Ostapenko has ended her maiden WTA Finals campaign on a winning note with a 6-3, 6-1 victory over Caroline Pliskova on Thursday. The Latvian, saving her best for last after she was eliminated, found the corners with her booming forehand to win the first set in 43 minutes. World number 3 Pliskova won her opening 2 white group ties against Venus Williams and Garbiñe Muguruza to book a semi-final berth with a match to spare, but the Czech was outgunned by an inspired Ostapenko at the Singapore Indoor Stadium. And finally, Argentine Juan Martín del Porto this evening cruised to the last 8 of the Swiss Indoors Tournament in Basel to maintain his hopes of making it to the year-ending ATP Tour Finals in London. The hard-hitting Argentine beat Frenchman Julien Beneteau 6-2, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 in approximately 90 minutes to book a spot in the quarterfinals against Spaniard Roberto Bastuta Agut. And that's it on Sports News for tonight. I'm Barong Tony Aranta. Ani Joma will be back with us.
Thanks a lot, Barong. Vote counting is on as polls close in Kenya's presidential rerun. Voting has, however, been postponed in at least 4 counties due to security challenges, and that's according to the Electoral Commission. Elections in Homa Bay, Kisumu, Migori and Siasa will now be held on Saturday, October the 28th. However, the election was almost marred by reported cases of violence. 2 people were killed in the opposition stronghold of Kisumu and in Home Bay, while several others were wounded. Police engaged in running street battles with protesters. Security forces have denied using live bullets as they tried to disperse protesters, and the main political challenger, Raila Odinga, boycotted the polls, calling on supporters to do the same. There will be no instantaneous updates of poll results, as scanned copies will be sent to the National Tallying Centre instead. At least 46 people have died following a series of explosions at a fireworks factory in Indonesia. Police said many of the dead were found clustered at the back of the factory, suggesting that they tried in vain to flee the flames. The fire, which started around 9 a.m. local time, is said to have been brought under control now.
Local media says there were at least 2 explosions at the fireworks warehouse, one around 10 in the morning and the other followed 3 hours later. The first explosion sparked a massive fire and brought down the factory roof. Nearby, cars were burnt out and television footage showed thick black smoke pouring from the site. Television broadcast images of thick plumes of dark smoke billowing from a warehouse in the Tangerang district of Jakarta, an industrial and manufacturing hub on the island of Java. The factory was said to have been operating for only 2 months. 46 people were said to be wounded in the explosions. They were taken to the emergency unit of the Tangerang General Hospital. The doctors say some of them had burns covering more than 80% of their bodies. They were said to be in critical condition. Police and rescue services have remained at the scene of the explosion, looking for more survivors or dead bodies. 10 people remain unaccounted for, and no one yet knows what triggered the explosions.
Very unfortunate there. And the main news again. The federal government today announced the recovery of $85 million from the proceeds of the Malibu oil deal kept in the United Kingdom. The announcement was made by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, who is alleged to have masterminded the recall and reinstatement of the fugitive former head of the Pension Reform Task Force, Abdul Rashid Maina. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks a lot for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Runyato. You have a good night.